You are listening to Torah with Simcha. Motzei Shabbos, August 31st, 2024. Motzei Shabbos, Parshas Re'eh. We're holding right now 2 days, 48 hours before Rosh Chodesh Elul. Parshas Re'eh, Motzei Shabbos, Parshas Re'eh, and the minhag in Klal Yisrael was to learn the 6th perek of Pirkei Avos this past Shabbos. The 6th perek. We try to finish Pirkei Avos before Elul, and then we start again. Next Shabbos we go back to Perek Aleph. But the 6th perek, again, that's Perek Kinyan HaTorah. So we go to Perek Kinyan HaTorah, which also, at the end, I'm going to mention something from Rabbi Heber Zecher Tzadik L'Bracha, because this perek, just, when you get to Kinyan HaTorah, I do think of him. So, on the Shazak app, which comes from Chabad, they've pointed out something that for some reason, it's slipped my mind for a number of years. Dovi, what? Could be based on Rashi. Yeah. Why not? It's Chabad could do it on Rashi too. So Moshe Rabbeinu says that he's not a man of words. And then comes Sefer Devarim. Devarim means words. The entire Sefer was said by Moshe. This is Moshe speaking. How did he become a man of words? He went from not being a man of words. That's this part of the humor, a Kodesh Baruch Hu's sense of humor. The reason why we need that, by the way, the humor is when two opposites are coming together. That's where you see the Yad Hashem. When you have the two opposites coming together, you have the boy, the leader of the Jewish people, the baby boy growing up in the palace of Paro himself. Meanwhile, he's throwing all the baby boys into the Nile River. Those are the two opposites. That's when you see Hashem's running the world. The man who's not a man of words becomes a man of words. So we said once, a few weeks ago, that it's true that people had a refuah at Har Sinai, but that refuah was only temporary. It's when Moshe Rabbeinu completed, at that time, the Torah Shebichsav, which went through Sefer Bamidbar, then he became a man of words. So, comes Devarim. Originally, Devarim was Torah Shebal Peh. Then, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to include it as Torah Shebichsav. But this was Moshe Rabbeinu teaching Klal Yisrael. He became a man of words. Okay, now listen to this Mishnah. With that mind in thought, we go to this Mishnah. Mishnah Aleph Perek Vav. This is Mikdash Yirmiyah. It says, Kol ha'osek b'Torah l'shma, zoicha l'dvarim harbe. Anyone who involves himself in Torah learning for the sake of heaven, he merits many things. V'lo, the Mishnah says, and not only that, but, and then it continues to say what it says. But it doesn't tell us what the many things are. So Zok here in the Mikdash Yirmiyah, Yesh levar dvarim harbe. There is to explain what does dvarim harbe mean. Dvarim is milashon dibor. It's from the language of speech. Through lots of words, a person's able to be mezakeh the rabbim, to benefit the rabbim. It's written in the Sefer Me'il Tzedakah. Os tov shin mem yesh nedivos kal b'maisa v'gado b'schar. There is a generous donation that's easy to make in action, and the reward is great. V'hu nedivos hadibor, and that's with generous speech. Sheyagbir l'shono, that You strengthen your tongue, your language, l'fayis la'aniyim, to appease poor people, u'lesameach lemisha doyeg, and to make one who's worried, a worried person, to make them happy, u'lahasim shalom, and to place shalom, to place peace. Shekozeh tolei barov tvarim, all of this is dependent on abundant words. The al yakbi b'diburo, this is the first time I've ever seen this. Don't be makbid with your dibur. Don't cut it short. The yarbid dvarim al dvarim elu, increase words on words. Ki rov ha-dvarim moshchim libo shel adam, because a lot of words pull a person's heart. They pull upon the heartstrings, as they say. V'gormim lekabel nechama, and they cause the person to be receptive to nechama, to comfort. Hitzrich law. That's needed for it. L'chein, therefore, Misha osek b'Torah lishma, one who is involved in learning Torah for the sake of Evan, humivatel es kol ha'ani l'Torah. He nullifies all of himself for Torah. Ein lo pnius v'ritzonos atzmiyim kigon kvodo v'tol alaso. He doesn't have any ratzon by himself. He doesn't have any of his own will. Rakum masr kula l'ratzon Torah. He ends up becoming completely to the drive of Torah. Whatever the ratzon of Torah is, whatever the ratzon, the will of Hashem is, that's what he will do. The Kavan Sheratzon Torah, who is v'yahavta l'recha kamocha, since the will of the Torah is to love your fellow like yourself, humishtadu lahotzi alapol ahavazu l'chavero. He's going to try to do this in action, this love to his friend. The enum mabid alashan. He's not going to look at the clock. He's not going to look at his watch when he's with his friend talking to him. The enum etzamtzem es dvarav, and he's not going to be short with his words. Elamar bedvarim, he's going to keep talking. Ad shemafayis es chavero, until he appeases his friend. V'garim lo simcha v'nachas, and he creates for him a happiness, a simcha v'nachas, and joy or pleasant. Umisha oisek shelo lishma, one who learns Torah shelo lishma. He doesn't have words for others. And he's not zoicha in the way that one who's osik lishma. The od yesh. Okay, the od yesh levar. Furthermore, there is to explain. She'a'ikr hu limod ha'toira shehu keneged kulam. Aval yachid im halimud mechuyev ha'adim l'kaim kam mitzvos arbe. V'ha'isa chesed im ha'cheirim u'medaber imam litzorcham oived es mano shel Torah. One who does chesed with others. The chesed here is that he talks to them. He speaks with them. He loses time. He's oived zmano shel Torah. The time that he could be learning, he's losing time of Torah. The choyshev ezek have simruba. If a person thinks that this is a great loss, there are those who think this is a great loss, they could be learning Torah. That type of thought holds the person back from doing the chesed. They may not even appreciate the chesed. That speech is a form of chesed. A lot of the stuff that might be called bittul Torah actually is chesed. Ulam, however, ein ze emes. This isn't true. The speech, the chesed, is not bittul Torah. It's not loss of time. Because we find by two Tanoim, and I believe these Tanoim were descendants of Shmuel Hanavi. They were descendants. Who was it that had the curse? Not Shmuel Hanavi. The Bnei Eli. They were descendants of the Bnei Eli. There was a curse on them. It was Abaye and Rava. I think it was Eli. One of them lived. They were supposed to only live 20 years. But because they were Osik in Torah, they lived 40 years. But one of them was also Osik in Chesed, he lived 60 years. Echad, it's Abaye and Rava. Echad Chai Mem Shana, one of them lived 40 years. The Asheni lived second year, Samich Shana, 60 years. That's the Gemara Rosh Hashanah, Daf Yud Ches. The Achilo Kaya, the difference between the two is I don't know which one was the difference is one of them learned only Torah below Chesed without doing Chesed. And this other one did both of them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu increased his years because of the Chesed because of the Chesed that he did Shemavater al Zmano b'shvil acherim. For he used his time for others, so Hashem gave that time back to him. And the interesting thing over here is that normally we might think of chesed as like helping someone cross the street or something like. Here we're saying speech, the speech, to go over to someone and to compliment them, or to go over to someone and to comfort them with words, and don't be short with the words. The whole thing about silence, siag l'Torah shtika, silence, we usually encourage silence, and you'll never regret a word not said. But over here, we're saying no. Speak the words. Speak what you want to speak. Speak what needs to be said. V'zeu marbid dvarim. This is what it means, marbid dvarim. The one who learns Torah lishma will be zoicha. He'll be zoicha to dvarim harbe. But here, marbid dvarim shemevater mizmano ledaber imacherim. If you are mevater on your zman, you forgo your time in order to speak with others. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yarbelo dvarim harbe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will increase for you many things. But it really, the yizake l'malei eshnosav, you will merit to have your years will be full. V'lo ya'abed afilu rega mizmano. You're not going to lose even a moment of your time. This is like what's written in the Sefer Arvei Nachal. The Inyan shekol echa nitin lo shir dvarim sheyedaber b'chayim. Everyone in the Inyan, each one gives to him a measurement of words. It's written in the Sefer that each person's given a certain amount of words that they're allowed to speak in their lifetime. Ki'inyan nafshi yatsa b'diburo. Shekol dibur v'dibur hu chelik mi'yitzias hanefesh. For every word is a portion of your nefesh coming out. Therefore, one would say you only have a certain number of words. Aval, however, ein ze nogeh lidiburei Torah. This has no shaykhs to words of Torah. When it comes to words of Torah, it's infinite. Shedibur b'Torah ein lo shir. For the speech in Torah, there is no measurement. And as we said before, I believe he's including also, right, I believe the speech of Chesed, he's saying it within the context here, that he's encouraging Dvarim Har. You just speak words, ein Makbiro, we go back to the Yakbid B'Diburo. This is going back to the first paragraph. The Yarbid Dvarim al Dvarim Elu. Ki rov hadvarim moshchim libo shel adam v'garmim lekabel nechama hitzrich la. Adkan. I figured if I could end off with a little story about Rabbi Herber, Zecher Tzadik Yiracha, you might as well. It's still within the first year of when he was nifter. So, here we go. Rabbi Greenblatt mentioned this. I was there when this happened, so I happen to know. So, as you know, when you're in a shul, by every bar mitzvah, the Rav speaks about not just the bar mitzvah kid, but speaks about the family of the bar mitzvah kid. The question is, what happens when the Rav's son is being bar mitzvah? So, who's going to speak about the kid? Who's going to speak about the family? Because normally the Rav speaks about the family, but here the Rav isn't going to speak about himself. It just doesn't, it doesn't sound too good. The Rav is speaking about himself. So, what? Rabbi Greenblatt. So it was I think it was at the end of davening, when Rabbi Herber, which you have to realize, as has been pointed out, Rabbi Greenblatt offered him the opportunity to speak many, many times, and he always turned it down. I don't remember ever going to a shir given by him. I remember him adding to every shir ever given with, he would be in the back and he had plenty to add. But other than him being a Rebbe in class, I don't remember him giving a shir. And Rabbi Greenblatt mentioned that he offered to give him the opportunity to give a shir, but he would turn it down. But on that day, that Shabbos, he got up and it was at the end, I think it was the end of davening, and he said, 1 second. He said, every bar mitzvah boy, the Rav always speaks about the family. The Rav always speaks about the boy in the family. This Shabbos, I want to speak about the Rav and the bar mitzvah boy. And then Rabbi Herbert went on to say beautiful things about Rabbi Greenblatt. That's something which I think is consistent with what you see over here, the very first Mishnah that says anyone who learns Torah, Lishma, he's zoiche lidvarim harbe. He's zoiche to have words, to be put in that type of position also, that they'll have words to bring nechama, words to bring simcha. You need to have a lot of confidence to take over the shul. He's taking over the shul, like saying, Rabbi, have a seat. And we're going to be talking about you now. So I happened to have been there when that happened. It was so, and Rabbi Greenblatt mentioned it in one of the at the Azkara. That is the end for now, and we're getting closer and closer to Rosh Chodesh Elul. Rosh Chodesh Elul is less than 48 hours away, but the first day of Elul is still longer than 48 hours, so I'm not going to hear the shofar until Wednesday. Good luck. Thank you for listening. I wish everybody a wonderful week. It should be Siag L'Chachma Shtika, not Siag L'Torah Shtika. You are listening to a podcast called Torah with Simcha.